Welcome back to My Club Pro TV, Bromley FC, the road to Wembley, with the FA Trophy final just around the corner and Bromley preparing to take on Wrexham. We thought it was a good time to catch up with the manager, Andy Woodman.
Andy, thanks for sitting down with me.
Pleasure.
There is, of course, the small matter of a Wembley final to discuss, but we'll get to that a bit later. I want to start where it all began for you at grassroots level as a kid. Do you remember the first club you played for?
Yeah, I do. It was a team called Palace Guard.
Yeah.
They was run out of Palace's old clubhouse, which my mum was a lottery ticket worker.
So you volunteered?
Yeah, so many moons ago. And that's where I started real back as under 9, I think I was then, or maybe under 10. And that's where my first proper football started in a team.
Happy memories?
Yeah, really happy memories. We was quite successful as it goes as a young team. And actually, I remember I've actually still got the trophy from there, which my son pulled out the other day, some big onyx trophy of keeper of the club. Yeah, I haven't got many, and that was a nice reflection of that.
And were you always a goalkeeper?
Yeah, I was. I'm trying to think why. Probably because of my older brother. He used to just chuck me in goal and smash balls at me. Yeah, and if everyone out the park with his mates, they'd always chuck me in goal. So that was really how it sort of come about.
Yeah, forged in the park. And what was your route into the professional game from there?
So I was actually playing for my school team, and there was a scout that was refereeing the game. Okay. This was my primary, and then he put me in touch to play into the which I don't know if it still goes, which was the district team, and then I got scouted from the district team to go for trials at Crystal Palace. As a young schoolboy it was then, but it was very different to what it is now. Very different. It was like one night a week or 2 nights a week and the odd game here and there. And that was my club. I got asked to go to Arsenal as a young boy, but I lived near Crystal Palace Stadium, about less than a mile away, and it was always my club. So from there I got offered my scholarship.
Yeah. Stuck around. You don't want to be travelling up to North London at that age, and you've got to get there, and it's.
No, and I think maybe probably a little bit more then. I feel like it's changed a lot now. It was about playing for your local club, the club you supported as a boy, your boyhood club. So Crystal Palace has always been my boyhood club. You know, I was on the terraces when they had the record crowd against Burnley, 52,000. So from a very young age, and then brought up in the area, all my family supported Palace. So it was never going to be anything else other than Palace if I got offered anything. Okay.
And following a great playing career as a goalkeeper, you moved into goalkeeper coaching with some high-profile roles: West Ham, Newcastle, Palace, Arsenal, to name a few. Was management always the ambition for you?
No, weirdly enough. But as you sort of work along the way and work with some good managers, you kind of sort of find yourself asking questions. I wonder what I'd have done in that situation, or I wonder how I'd have dealt with that. And then I had a little spell managing a non-league team further down the pecking order, and then I got offered this job, which I just felt, why would I leave Arsenal to come to manage in the National League? But I actually also answered it with a question that, well, look, if you don't do it, you're never going to have a go at doing it.
Good opportunity to challenge yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And someone always, I've had a few people say, well, we don't see many goalkeepers be managers, and I always find that strange, because as if we can't play football, as if we don't know nothing about football. We spent a lifetime behind you guys watching you play in front of us. Yeah. So and obviously working with Alan Pardew, Sam Allardyce, Arsene Wenger, Steve McLaren.
Great education there.
Yeah, I've seen these guys work up close, and Alan Kirbishley, all these people. So it's been quite nice to see them, how they work closely, and then obviously put your own sort of twist on it when you get the job yourself.
Yeah, and that leads us quite nicely into the FA Trophy final. You've been manager of Bromley for a little over a year, and you're leading the club out at Wembley. Is that as good as first full seasons go?
Yeah, it's funny enough. I just had a cup of tea with some older supporters here that I sit with every Thursday and have they tell me what I'm doing wrong, which is quite refreshing.
Same every club, I think.
Yeah. But they're really nice guys, and we just discussed that. I mean, in my first year as manager, I've taken the club to the highest ever position it's been as a club, into the playoffs last year. And of course we're a little bit tinged with disappointment that we haven't kind of got to the playoffs at the moment or look like we're going to get there. But we've got to a Wembley final, so that's not a bad return in 1 year.
It's a strong league, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the thing. On the outside, people think it's the National League. I think it's as good as League Two, if not better in probably 50% of the clubs.
Yeah, some big clubs, aren't there?
Some big clubs, some big league clubs. So I'm not too disappointed. You know, and I think it's been a very good educational year for me of things that I've done well, things I could do better. And hopefully if I learn from those going into next year, you know, we'll be better equipped on a lot of bases.
Okay, and as a manager leading the team out of Wembley, can you allow yourself to enjoy that moment?
Really weird. I had a conversation Sunday, funny enough, with Scott Parker. I bumped into Scott Parker at Bournemouth's training ground and went and watched them. He kindly let me watch their training. And he actually turned around to me and said, "Oh, you'll enjoy Wembley." And then stopped himself and said, "As it goes, you won't. No one enjoys these big games because you just can't. I mean, look, we're playing a top team. We're the underdogs. Let's not make no bones about that. So you know, it's going to be a good day, a nice day. But through my experience of being Wembley, you know, the build up and everything around it's bigger than the game because the game goes very quickly. So." I won't be enjoying it probably as much as people might think, but hopefully if it all goes well...
Final whistle.
Yeah, hopefully I will be allowed to enjoy it then.
And as a club, you've got a great academy set up, and you've definitely backed youth in this competition to great effect. Was that always part of the plan when you joined the club?
I wouldn't say so much when I joined the club, but I've always been a real supporter of young players because when I was a young player, I was in an era where you're too young to play, you need experience. And then when I got experience, everyone was saying, "Oh, we're going to go with a younger option." So I kind of didn't get that. And then obviously working at Arsenal with some really good young players, it kind of made me realise very quickly that if they're good enough, they're old enough. And I've been gifted with some good young players at this club, at this level, and I've played them. And I played them all pre-season. And I think that helped. You know, I don't think that's ever been done here before, that managers played these young players. And then we played them in the early rounds of the FA Trophy. One of the games we could have had called off for COVID at Dover, and we opted to play, I think, 7 or 8 of them, young kids in this game. And they were magnificent, and one of them scored a goal that got us through. So
it's a great testament to the club, isn't it, and the youth that you are bringing through?
It's a fantastic testament to the club, and it's something I want to keep building on. And actually, look, let's be honest, we haven't got the riches of the other clubs. So as we go forward, it'll be probably very important that we start getting these young players in and around our first team.
Absolutely. How big a moment is this for the club and the local area?
Yeah, it's a big moment for the club. They visited it a few years ago and lost, and I think on that occasion they was the favourites. We're visiting it again as the underdogs. With a big, massive club, and we can't get away from it to Hollywood owners that will bring their backing and razzmatazz. And I have to give credit to them. They've supported the club. They haven't just put their name to it. They've been at games. So it's all set up for a David and Goliath sort of day, really.
Does that take the pressure off a bit, being the underdog?
No, I think on the outside people are looking like that. On the inside, we're professional people. Yeah, and we're professional footballers and professional management. So we have our own agendas and our own sort of set of values and expectations. So yeah, we'll be doing our homework as much as we can, the same as Phil will. I mean, and ironically, I worked under Phil as a manager at Charlton.
Bit of insight.
He won't give me no insight, Phil.
Yeah, and Wrexham, you mentioned there, undoubtedly a tough opponent. You've lost one and drawn one to him this season. Can you go one better at Wembley?
I hope so. I mean, the game we lost at their place, we had a player sent off after 6 minutes. But it's a final, isn't it? Anything can happen in a final. It could go anyway. That's the beauty of the cup, and that's why we love the beauty of the cup. So we hope we can go one more on the day, and if we do, it'll be a fantastic achievement.
Great stuff. Andy, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All the best at Wembley.
Thank you very much.
If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a ramble.